In this video, we are going to get into all of your Tesla stock news that you need to know today. Stocks were not trading, but that does not stop Tesla from giving us some breaking news. And this breaking news is, well, big for Tesla stock investors. So we're going to get into that. We're going to look at where Tesla is currently at on the charts, look at some statistics, take a look at a bunch of different things you need to know. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and get into it. This specific news could be a game changer for Tesla stock. It says Tesla officially indicated today the prep work to roll out FSD beta is currently underway in response to reporters' inquiry. Though no specific timeline is given, I'm guessing it'll be when V12 is ready, probably towards the end of December or early January of 2024. I feel confident in saying this. This is not priced into Tesla stock at all, because this would change the numbers big time for Tesla. If Tesla has a 10% take rate for North America, for the US and Canada on FSD, if they continue to have a 10% take rate for FSD in China, if FSD launches in China, well, that's going to add a lot of money to that bottom line, and that's going to boost that EPS number. And EPS estimates are down over 41% within the last 6 months or so. It's not priced in, and this could be a huge catalyst to send Tesla stock well into the 300s. And as Mo says here, the future is bright. China and the United States combined account for approximately 36.2% of the world's paved roads. Beginning today, all customers who order and take delivery of a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y in the US by December 31st will automatically receive 6 months of free supercharging. Tasha Keeney, she works for ARK Invest, says Cruise imploded. It does look as if the company took on more risk than peers like Waymo. And this is adjusted miles or adjusted million miles per crash on surface streets only. And Cruise, you can see Cruise is down here. You're at 0.04 million miles per crash. The national average is 0.19 million miles per crash. So that's like 200,000 miles per crash. Waymo, about 500,000 miles per crash. Manually driven Teslas, a little bit like 600,000 miles per crash. And Tesla in FSD at 3.2 million miles for every one crash. Yeah, that's a big statistical difference between Tesla and between Cruise. On that note, GM's robotaxi unit Cruise is planning to relaunch in one city, the company said on Wednesday. Here is a video at the Austin airport of a Cybertruck dropping off a passenger. And just to think this is going to become a regular sighting is incredible. Tesla has launched an updated charging webpage to better educate people. Quote, go anywhere, charge everywhere. You can now get a new Model Y rear-wheel drive for as low as $33,490 after federal tax credit. Depending on state incentives, that number can drop to under $30,000. Tesla Europe posts to their X account, the upgraded Model 3 is named the best car you can buy in Norway. Infinite, the biggest player in energy storage in Alberta, is about to flip the switch on a new $50 million Tesla Megapack system near Grand Prairie in Canada. Tesla now allows single-tap autopilot activation in software release 2023-38.9. You have a single pull and a double pull for autopilot activation. Tesla Chan also posts on his X account rumors of the schedule for the launch of FSD beta in China during the December holiday or around January next year are growing. Tesla FSD beta is now time to launch outside of North America. They are preparing. Like seriously, that is a catalyst that will push Tesla stock into the 300s. And I think this is another one of those examples where we know this is coming. Just like the India expansion, the launch into India, that we already know is coming, but we'll take the markets as a surprise, right? The markets are not pricing this in for Tesla stock. When it actually does happen and FSD does launch in China, it is going to be the biggest breaking news for Tesla that day. It's going to be ridiculous. The stock will soar. Hong Kong reported 715 Tesla sales for October, 99.5% of which were the Model Y and 0.5% of which were the Model 3. Year to date, this is 64% of last year's total. And look at these inventory numbers for the Model Y. Holy moly, you've seen a big spike. That could explain why Tesla is starting to discount your performance Model Y and your long-range Model Y that are in inventory, because geesh, you now have about 6,300 Model Ys worldwide in inventory. Your Model S and your Model X are down here at about 2,000 a piece, and that is actually going up a little bit as of the last couple of days. Your Model 3 inventory is declining from about 2,900 down to where we sit now at about 2,000. But geesh, that Model Y spike is insane. Google Trends data for the Model 3 and the Model Y continue to weaken a little bit. Nothing concerning here. Your Model 3 is, or your Model Y, I should say, is actually basing out here. You haven't seen any weakness on a week-over-week basis. And your Cybertruck is weakening a little bit, but still pretty elevated compared to what we have seen throughout history before. And I think heading into November 30th, the trends for the Cybertruck are going to hold up, and then after November 30th, they're really going to shoot up, as well as I believe everything else. I think there will be an almost instantaneous halo effect from the Cybertruck when your local news, when your world news, things of that nature start to actually talk about the Cybertruck. It's going to boost attention for all of Tesla's products. And Tesla continues to run about 300 different ads worldwide, most of which for the US, some for Europe, and some for Australia. The percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average is at 62.69%, off of your July highs at about 77%, which suggests to me we still do have some room for an upside move here. A new AI investor sentiment survey is out, and boy, are the bulls in control. For the week ending November 22nd, 45.3% of investors are bullish, 31.3% of investors are neutral, and 23.6% of investors are bearish. You're seeing the biggest decline in bears here, going from 28.1% to 23.6%. The bulls are increasing about 2%, and the level of neutral investors is also increasing about 3%. Tesla's option activity yesterday was 81% positive. You had $1.63 billion worth of option activity, comprised of 793 orders in total. If you look at the call side, volume was 65%. On the put side, volume was 35%. So if you're looking at hedge funds, institutions, or you're looking at retail, everyone was pretty much bullish on Tesla yesterday. Futures currently show stocks are probably going to be in the green tomorrow. 10-year treasury yields look like they could fall a little bit. Your NASDAQ, S&P, and your Dow are up about 0.1% for the trading day tomorrow. That is your futures. Who knows? Usually on Black Friday, if stocks are trading, it's like 30 out of 0 for the last 30 years or so, 40 years or so, that stocks are in the green. So there's really never been a time where stocks have been in the red on Black Friday in recent history. So I would expect another green day coming tomorrow, but there's always a first for something. So don't be surprised if markets are red tomorrow, but I'm expecting a strong close for this week. Tomorrow will also be interesting because I believe bond futures will be open until around noon, but stocks will be trading. But bonds will not be trading. But bond futures will be open. So we'll know a little bit of what bonds are doing, but it's really just going to be stocks. And in this market environment where stocks are very reactive to bond yields, that just makes things a whole lot more interesting. For the trading day tomorrow, At 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are going to get S&P Global Composite PMI for November. You're expecting 50.6. Anything under 50 is contractionary. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI for November, you're expecting 50. Some people are expecting 49.8. And S&P Global Services PMI flash, you're expecting that at about 50.4. So the lower, the better here. That's just how our markets are. The weaker the economic data comes out, the bigger and better reaction we are getting to the upside. We are going to get a catalyst coming out today, and that is at 6:30 p.m. It is the Japanese inflation rate year over year and month over month. If Japan's inflation rate comes in lower than expectations, that could mean maybe they don't need to raise rates. And that could be really good for our bond market because Japan is the largest holder of our bonds. So there's a big correlation between if their Fed starts raising rates and what happens with their holdings of US treasuries. In theory, if Japan starts raising rates, they could dump our treasuries and go buy Japanese treasuries. That's just the fear out there. I don't think that's really what would happen. I think Japan would have to raise rates a lot, and they're not going to do that for that to actually occur. But that is some of the fear that Wall Street does have. If we take a look at Tesla stock, you are down about 3.10% yesterday. You closed at $233.75 per share. You're still looking pretty bullish here, still hitting higher lows. That's great news. I expect Tesla's probably going to be in the green for tomorrow. It's going to probably follow the broader markets. I don't exactly think the markets are going to price in any of the FSD going into China news. I think that's probably going to catch a lot of Wall Street by surprise in December or in January when that news comes out. And thus, I think Tesla stock is going to soar when that actually does happen. But I think the markets are probably going to be in the green tomorrow. Tesla stock is probably going to be in the green as well. Maybe with some catching up to do. I don't think this 3% plus drop yesterday was actually warranted for Tesla stock. We want to see if Tesla can close above the 50-day moving average at $238.01 per share. That would be a move higher from here of about 1.6%. If we can actually do that would be great and close above there. That's really what you want to see to close out this week. But there is a lot of support and a lot of buyers really from 230 down to 222 in this zone. So I don't expect a lot more downside from here. I really don't expect any substantial downside from here. If you do fall, you're probably going to hold support at the 230. That would be my opinion. I mean, look at these wicks, these intraday wicks. I mean, you haven't closed under 230, but basically every day you have hit 230 at one point, and then you massively bounce to the upside, especially this day right here, November 17th. That was a big one. You fell to 226, ended up rallying to 237, and then ended up closing around 234. Right at this point, I can draw a horizontal line here. Right at about this point, you're getting a lot of demand that is coming in for Tesla stock, and that is really at that gap fill level itself. So a lot of orders in there to buy Tesla. That is obviously clear at this point. If you look at the RSI, 52.97, so you're basically at the neutral level of 50. That supports or suggests to me Tesla stock could rally to the upside, and it should, in my personal opinion. If you look at the MACD is now in positive territory. The MACD line, 1.23. The signal line is negative 2.06. If the blue line gets into positive territory as well, that is going to be a great sign. Next week is going to be a little bit more explosive with some more data coming out and some larger earnings as well. So that will also be pretty exciting. And we'll bring that to you guys coming tomorrow. Nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about this breaking news, about this big catalyst that will send Tesla stock soaring into the 300s, in my personal opinion. Let me know if you think that is a big deal or not. What do you think the take rate will be for China FSD? Do you think it's going to be 10%? Do you think it's going to be more than that? I'm sure FSD in China is going to be priced, I believe it's like $8,000 or something along those lines. So it's a lot more reasonable. And just considering the Chinese people, they really love the Model Y. Like, you know, Model 3 is one thing, but the Model Y is even more expensive, and that's what they prefer. So, I mean, I'm sure, you know, FSD is in their budget as well. So let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel on your way out of this video. If you guys would like to come trade with us live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.